It's the Full Force News Burst, proudly brought to you by Battle Action Force, the Treasury editions. I am your host, Christopher McLeod, AKA Diagnostic 80. Now let's get into the news. Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Full Force News Burst. Yes, it is all kicking off today, this week. Crazy pants. So not only did we get renders last weekend for G.I. Joe Day, but now we've got leaks already, courtesy of eBay, and two particular eBay kind of posts that went up for the Cobra-La Royal Guard Deluxe and the Target exclusive Ninja Force Zartan. Make sure I say Zartan correctly, not Tarzan, like I always say. Hello, everyone in the chat. Lots of you already in there. We'll be talking, obviously, about that tonight. And I've got even more for you. Classified listings update. We've got a couple of new listings to add to the list. Stop saying list. And we've unlocked where the Arctic 3 pack lives on the listings. So there's that as well. And oh yeah, and we've unlocked a few previously unknown internal code words as well. So that's just for the super nerdy of among us. I get really into the listings, as you fully well know. But yeah, I'll be talking about that at the end. But we should probably just get stuck in because there's lots to really get into here. So like I said, we're talking about the recently leaked I say leaked images, but they're from eBay basically. So they're already out there. And then oh yeah, and the Larry Hama Skybound Midtown Comics news as well, because that means we'll be getting another reveal prior to Toy Fair. It's like, what are they going to have for Toy Fair? I'll tell you now, friggin' loads. Anyway, let's do it. Hope everyone's doing well in the chat. Lots of you there. Shout out to all of you. I'm not going to list you right now because there's too many now. But let's do it. Explosion. Yes. Late or early in the morning yesterday. No, hang on. It was today. It was really early today. At least that I was made aware of it. It's like 2 a.m. or something. These two eBay listings appeared for Ninja Force Zartan and the Royal Guard. And we'll start looking at the images from obviously that eBay listing of the Cobra-La Royal Guard. Now, this is obviously it's a deluxe set. We knew that going into this, and mainline, technically mainline deluxe. And we had an inkling that this one would probably be going up for pre-order soon. And it looks like that's probably the case based on the fact that, we're already seeing packaged versions of this particular figure. And of course, Zartan as well kind of hints at the fact that we may have that Target pre-order soon as well. So anyway, yeah, lots going on the lead up to New York Toy Fair. I have heard a little on the grapevine that more in-hand images are shown up for the Cobra-La Royal Guard, which I didn't know before starting this episode. But we're just talking about the images from earlier today and on eBay. And we've got this beautiful packaging, which obviously follows the same kind of design and structure as we've had with all of the kind of Cobra-La related characters so far. Nemesis Immortal, Pythona, Once a Man Cobra Commander, and now the Royal Guard have all had this sort of like design, colorway, and sort of like theme to their packaging. And it's absolutely gorgeous, including John Jiang art, which we'll see on the side panel here. Now, the other thing I wanted to kind of talk about is just how cool this figure looks as well. Like the default head, they've gone with the kind of unmasked head, or one of the unmasked heads, which is pretty cool. Oh, thank you, Chucky Tinderbin, for the super chat. We very much appreciate our super chats in here. Who says BBTS sent me impending arrival notices for Lifeline, Night Viper, Hit and Run, and Mole Rat 2. Thanks, Chris. No Big Lob in there, Chucky Tinderbin. That's a shame. Chuck it Internet. Get it? Because it's Big Lob. Anyway, that's exciting. And it's funny because it feels after the deluge of product that was coming in on a regular basis towards the end of the year last year. The fact that we've had this sort of like little period of time with, just a bit of just like a little chill kind of period. It has felt a little bit like, oh, where are all the figures gone? And yeah, of course, impending arrival notices now for literally that 5-figure wave, which will be coming in soon. Anyway, thank you very much, Chucky Tinderbin, and thank you for the super chat. Huntress says, where do you even get these internal code words for these listings? Like, seriously. We have multiple sources, but we can't give them away, unfortunately, Huntress. But multiple, all over the place. And then they're combined and filtered and studied and cross-referenced from multiple angles. And also, a lot of the listings do end up on sort of like shipping manifests and what have you. They use the listings for whenever they're shipping stuff. So it's some of it is, actively sort of public knowledge if you have access, which I believe you can. I think there might be a paywall there now. There always has been, as far as I've been aware, for sort of like public record shipping information. But yeah, I kind of feel like that's been under a paywall for a while now. Hello, Chris. You're doing the community's work. God bless you. Thank you, David. Hey, I'm early for once. Hi, Chris. Loving that Royal Guard. Going to need a few, says Studio Henge. Well, you're going to need a few to put those freaking heads on it. So you've got 2 unmasked heads, one with that really kind of creepy, eerie kind of like, I don't know, like it's like a grin sort of smile, like an evil smile, a grimace, not grimace. Yeah, it's like a cheeky grin, and then some more default version above that, obviously, and then the other 2 helmeted heads. One is sort of like your standard Cobra-La Royal Guard, and the other one is the one with the sort of like bone kind of like fin on it that obviously you utilize in its kind of like aerial mode, which I think is amazing. Admit it, your info comes from Night Creepers, says Chris G. Do you know what? That would be the coolest. That just reminds me of that scene in The Mighty Boosh where they're in their van and he gets a magazine delivered to him and he says it's so exclusive. And it's so up to date. It gets delivered by ninjas, and then this ninja's running by the side of the van and hands him the magazine. If you're not aware of The Mighty Boosh, that might have just sounded like a load of words put together that didn't make any sense. And you'd be right. And Amazon have been putting out shipping notices by the sounds of it, according to Let It Roll 9044, in regards to the 5-figure wave that's imminent, the Lifeline hit and run mole rat hit situation, Night Viper. Anyway, Hunter says, personally, I don't care for the Cobra-La. It isn't my flavor, but I know others do, and I'm all for equal representation. Absolutely, that's a good it's a good outlook to have, especially when something you're not really that into it. If you're not really that into it, it's always nice to know that there are other people that are into it and they might enjoy it. So yeah, absolutely. Empathetic, I believe that is. Wilfredo Diaz says, damn it, I didn't even get an alert that you were going on. Hope I didn't miss much. I've literally just started. This is the first image of a few images that we're looking at today. Anyway, a really dope loadout for this particular figure. We've seen the renders, we've seen the kind of figure that this can become as well, or the figures that it can become. And I think that's what's going to make this one like an appealing sort of troop builder, even though the price may hinder some of that troop building a touch. If you aren't aware of the Mighty Boosh, where have you been, says Scott. Indeed. Getting caressed by a natural yogurt, probably. Stanley says, Royal Guard, I guess the OG head would not have fit on the figure as it sits in the packaging. Bummer. Well, I mean, you can just switch them around though, Stan, can't you? Unless you keep everything in package, then yeah, that might be a bit. But then you just open it, take it out, switch the heads around, and put it back in. But yeah, I think the helmet might be a little bit larger, on the actual figure in that particular plastic area where its head currently is. Anyway, that's the front of the Cobra-La packaging, the Royal Guard packaging. We also have, like I said, the John Jiang art you can see on the side there, which I believe will probably be revealed in full and in much better, a clearer way. The pictures aren't bad. It's just at an angle, and you can't really see it very perfectly. So maybe John's actually already posted. Well, no, he probably hasn't posted the art because this shouldn't be out there yet, should it? So yeah, we'll probably have to wait for John to post that, but it's very, very nice indeed. And also, massive shout out to Scott Johnson, who we should be having on the show very soon. He did the art for Ninja Force Zartan, which we'll be looking at shortly. Anyway, that's Cobra-La Royal Guard side. Then we look at the back, and we have the kind of really cool sort of like rendered figure image on the back that usually gives us a few hints as to maybe some other things we can look forward to. But I couldn't see anything even when zooming in on the back of the packaging. They've got three of the four head. Well, they've got three call out. The call outs are the three alternate heads. And of course, all the heads are on show there. They've got the helmet one on the actual rendered figure, and then they have the call outs showing the other heads as well, which is really cool. But they just went heads on. They flipped a coin and they went heads on the call outs there, didn't they? And I zoomed in on this and I looked around a little bit. It's obviously it's in the same environment. It's in the same kind of Himalayan kind of like enclave of Cobra-La, citadel of Cobra-La. And in the background, you can see a couple of cheeky other Royal Guards flying around with their kind of bug wings, which is kind of crazy. But you can see like 2 or 3, I think. Yeah, 3 in the background there, as well as that Royal Guard. In fact, I have looked at this and I did zoom in on it and I couldn't see anything. But now I'm second guessing myself. No, it's 3 Royal Guards, yeah, and obviously the main one on the render. So technically 4 Royal Guards. Bear with me, I'm multitasking. And interesting. No, I can't see whatever you sent me as a thing. I can't actually see it. Sorry, I can't log into it for some reason. Anyway, enough of that. The back of this, I was just zooming in on that. Sorry, I got taken away from what I was doing. Yeah, so I can't see anything that really stands out to me as something that would be like a hint of another character. I can't see any like globulous sort of hints. I can't see like any of the other characters like Pythona or Nemesis Immortal on there. What I can see though, on the right, as you look to the left of the character, and obviously where the call outs are on the right hand side as you look at it, there is a kind of that basically it's that giant clam that's got Cobra Commander stuck inside, like captured inside. So that is obviously kind of hinting at the fact that you're in the same environment as all those other Cobra-La figures that they've shown on the back of the renders. So that's cool. It would have been nice, I think, to just sneak something else in there. Maybe like that giant kind of like thing they fly around in, which is the weirdest thing ever. As someone said, why did I not say sticky clam? How did you miss the snake behind the giant sticky clam? Thank you, Scott. Yeah, there's a snake armor in there somewhere. Vanguard 2, Bladed Weapons 2, Strength 1, Hand-to-Hand Combat 2. Scott, that's a really... Thank you very much, first of all, for giving me the kind of like ability levels of this particular character, which you can see on the side there as well, nice and clear. But also on there as well, and a little bit cut off on there. But what makes me a little confused about this, they're certainly not going movie accurate, because hand-to-hand combat, these MFers took out not just Quick Kick and a bevy of other kind of like very impressive Joe soldiers, but also Snake Eyes. Do you know how hard it is to get a 1-over on Snake Eyes? Very. I've tried. It did not end well. So I'm interested. It's interesting that they've given the Royal Guard such a low hand-to-hand combat and strength, actually, because they literally grabbed the foot of Quick Kick and then just swung him round into a tree. So, or into a, not a tree, into a pod trunk. Pod trunk? I come up with the weirdest things, don't I? Anyway, so yeah, so there you go. Pretty cool though. This figure's awesome. Let's face it. There's going to be a couple of these picked up. I know it's a reach, but what is the green coming down over his head? Now, do you know what? I looked at that 610 and did a double take, but I couldn't really think other than Globulus's tail, or a time worm. You think it could be, or it could just be the way that the light is catching a certain like aspect of it. But I tell you what, it is a little bit different, and it isn't exactly repeated anywhere else in the color scheme necessarily. I mean, it's relative. Actually, no, that's a lie. There's a little bit of that same green at the bottom right of the image as well, just on the rocks. Very subtle, but you can see it. So it does appear a couple of times in there. So it could probably just be like a bit of like slimy rock or something. But I don't know. It's not a bad shout to kind of call something like that out, because it does look a little bit, out there and different. But I'll have to see firsthand on the 14th when I look at the back of the figure package and really give it some, and take loads of pictures as well, of course. David says Midtown Comics reveal. We'll talk about in a little while, actually, David. That is part of this particular episode. It'll be at the end of this little kind of run. We'll talk about that and what we can expect to see with that one. You think it's going to be Dawn Moreno? That's not a bad shout, considering Larry's involved and it's all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's not a bad shout, honestly. But we'll get to that in a bit, David. Thank you, though, for your comment. Ed says one of these heads can double as Cobra Commander before he was disfigured by a laboratory accident. Indeed, Ed. Indeed. I like the sound of that. Maybe they've kind of done it well. Yeah, because I mean, they're effectively, they'll kind of look like that, don't they? Not to get like super Cobra-La racist here, but they do. When you see that like clip of all of them together, like it isn't exactly the most diverse crowd you've ever seen in your life. So yeah, you definitely could use that as a Cobra Commander head prior disfigurement. Stygian says, I need my Dreadnought bat. Yeah, that would be so cool, wouldn't it? I still think that's a really good option for a bat. Scott says, Wibbler, question mark? Yeah, it could be Wibbler. It could be Wibbler in the background. Wibbler, for those not what's the word? You don't really know what I'm talking about most of the time, which is fine. I understand. Wibbler is the name I gave Nemesis Immortals green, like, tentacle monster. So Wibbler and Arachnobat. I say I gave them. I gave Wibbler was mine, but Arachnobat was not mine, and I always forget who actually coined that phrase. So if you're in the chat right now, which I think you might be, I have an inkling. I don't want to say the name because I'll get it wrong. Who was the one that coined the term Arachnobat for Nemesis Immortals wings? Uninitiated is the correct term. That was what I was reaching for, Scott. Thank you. Steps Toy says, stop racial profiling the insect plant hybrid underground people, Chris. I know, I'm sorry. I'll stop doing that. GL says, what's that large round thing at the right side? I just talked about this, GL. This is the clam that is holding Cobra Commander from another angle. So if you look at some of the other packaging, you'll see that clam open up, and you'll see like Cobra Commander like inside it, all stuck in there in his sticky clam, Kitty said. Kenny, how you doing, buddy? Time to change the name of the show to the Ninja Force, the full Ninja Force. Yeah, I should, shouldn't I? We'll be talking about Zartan in a very short moment, Kenny. So you hold thine horses there, sir. GL says, sorry, just got here. Not a problem, GL. It's all good. I'm just saying that I did cover that one. We believe that is the clam, the stickiest of all the clams. Clam HasLab in Clumming, says Grizzlehorn. Somehow in Clumming sounds worse, like in a Kitty said situation, doesn't it? Sticky clam indeed, Stygian. Mark P just got here, missed a lot. We've just been looking at the Royal Guard pictures and kind of going, oh, it's amazing. And now we're going to be moving on to the leaked eBay images of another character that popped out today as well. We've already seen this image, of course, of the side. There you go, full view now of figure 191, Man, this is getting out of hand, isn't it? Classified has seriously got out of hand. Kenny says, my horse cannot be contained. Well, yeah, true. I've seen that firsthand. Anyway, let's move on to Zartan, Ninja Force variety Zartan, which obviously is a Target exclusive. Obviously, he says, thinking that everyone is aware of that. But this one on the listings is a Target exclusive. It looks like the Ninja Force theme is going to be the new Target theme going forward, as Chabang is also in that, unlocked in those listings as well. So anyway, Ninja Force Zartan. Again, like, this is another figure I have genuinely been aching for. Both of these figures actually have been ones that I've wanted for the longest time. I thought, like, it took ages to get certain figures in the line, but I feel like it's just the way of how it is. You've got to kind of balance these things with lots of different with lots of different kind of like aspects that are going on here. So first and foremost, G.I. Joe has such a huge character count, not just for the Joes, but for Cobra, all the other enemy factions, all the other allied factions. There's just so much of it, multiple different brand periods, all sorts of crazy stuff going on with G.I. Joe, right? Classified is encompassing pretty much as much of that as it wants to, but also nothing is really off the table in terms of the eras and the kind of styles and all that kind of stuff. So therefore, thusly, it's going to take a while to get through, all of the characters, which is clearly their aim. 6 years in, what are we in now? 26. Yeah, so this will be 21. 2021, 22, 23, 24, 25. Yeah, 6 years. I can count. So yeah, coming up to the 6th year of Classified, or because it was revealed around this time last in 2020, wasn't it? So for us to have had like close to 200, or more likely, we've probably easily had 200 figures, not like numbered, but if you think about like multi-packs and all that stuff, we're probably way beyond that now, way beyond it. But yeah, like, to think we've had all of that product. There's the retro series, which isn't numbered as well. So I mean, we've had like so many figures in a short period of time, and we're still waiting on certain characters to be done. And I feel like once we get to that point where all the characters that can be done have been done, we're still not going to be that deep into the like years. I think we could effectively hit, and I'm talking characters, not like versions of characters, but like all of the characters can be done in the next, like, I don't know, 3-4 years, the way they churn stuff out. Will it go that long? I think so. I feel like Classified almost feels like a sort of like solid variable now. Like, I feel like, how like Marvel Legends and Black Series started out, and you didn't like, I mean, I didn't expect it to go as long as it did with all of those, but it they continue to go. And yes, they've got a bigger audience, and they've got a broader group of characters to choose from, although that is questionable. They're all probably on par with each other, actually. Like, G.I. Joe has a lot of characters, but then again, so does Marvel, and so does Star Wars. But I think the fact that they've kind of stayed around for so long, I do think G.I. Joe Classified has, or at least 6-inch Joe is what I should really call it. I think that has the longevity to stay for multiple years, for many years to come. I just think it's one of those things that a lot of people are very into. And also there's the other element of, when sort of like a certain generation die out, are there going to be enough fans to kind of keep it going? You'd hope so, but that would probably need, a few more new G.I. Joe sort of things for people to kind of jump on, later years kind of thing. So I don't know. We'll have to see, won't we? But in my opinion, I think there's a few, at least, half a year left in this line. Anyway, yeah. So anywho, let's get back to that. So Zartan, phenomenal looking figure. I'm not, what's the word? I'm not disappointed at all. Obviously, the render was fantastic. The figure looks even better than the render. Amazing loadout as well. And if we go around here, we'll see Scott Johnson's beautiful artwork on the side. That is an absolute beauty, actually. And I'll be speaking to Scott Johnson very soon about his phenomenal artwork on the classified line. Yeah, 192. It's gone up one since we last saw the Cobra-La Royal Guard. Scott says, love the homage to the OG art. So that's Scott Skeen, not Scott Johnson. But yeah, it clearly there's a thought of the bow being utilized there, isn't there? In that sort of original card art, which is really funny because I kind of feel like the original card art's one of my favorite, but it's it looks like a bulldog chewing a wasp. Like they made him really ugly, didn't they? And like kind of really like personality wise going nuts, like loads of like insane sort of like detail. Like that one that Zartan always looks like a bulldog chewing a wasp, and Road Pigs, Sonic Fighters art is another level of hideousness that I absolutely am here for. I'm absolutely here for it. I love it when they really go to town on some of the kind of like, you know, features and what have you. It's really, really cool. Raw Talk Real Deal says, once they can't make the larger vehicles, it's over. Yeah, but they just, you say that, but you get to a point and then it's just a matter of redoing everything they had previously with new technology and new engineering and, you know, the new things that go into the figures. So there'll be like, you know, we'll go round. I think there'll be like a few like merry-go-rounds of classified, to be fair. I can see that happening. Kenny says, let me know if that artist is doing prints. Well, I'll be speaking to him, so I'll ask him. Absolutely. Bias says, I think we'll find out in the next 2 years, by 2028, what the coming years after that look like. Yeah, for sure. In terms of like what we've got left, for sure. Ed says, as long as I get Repeater, Muskrat, Ambush, Gridiron, and Rampart, Interrogator, and Cesspool, they can keep going until we're in our 50s. Yeah, not too long for me. It's only about 5 years until I'm in my 50s. Yikes. That's, you know, when you just hit a realization, and it's in public, when on a forum like this, and you want to cry a little bit, that just happened. An old school wave is needed for 3-pack. Jen Flag, Dr. Venom, and Quinn, says Johnny B. 54. 54? 254s. That'd be cool. Hunter says, classic Ninja Force 90s figure. Give him all of the weapons, no guns, though. Yes, indeed. Chuck235 says, I don't buy from eBay, so I'm hoping this is not a scam. I just spent $238 and ordered both of these figures. Well, you're going to get them early, hopefully. Fingers crossed. I hope that works for you, Chuck. I really do. It's not like guaranteed eBay, is it? Let's face it. I've had some terrible experiences on eBay, and I don't really use it as much anymore. But you know, I've also had some good experiences on eBay too. It just depends. You know, it's a bit of a crapshoot sometimes, though. Stan says, classified will have to end on a milestone number. It will, yeah, like 325, which we'll be getting to in a second as well. As long as the knocks all get made and I'm in my 60s, says Doc Christensen. Yeah. Huntress says, lol, my dad is 51. I could be your father, Huntress236. How dare you? Leon Jano says, it's over when they do multiverse. It's definitely over when they do crossovers. Oh no. I think we've got a long time to go. And like I said, there'll be that whole period of time where they know that the G.I. Joe in 6-inch is a solid option to do because it was very popular and people bought it, you know, and people got into it. So if classified, like, put it this way, this is depressing to talk about when we've got new figures and loads of cool stuff coming, but let's just quickly get this out of the way as a conversation topic. I think you'll get to a point, let's say classified as a thing stops, right? For whatever reason, they don't do it as much anymore. They minimize what they're putting out there, or they don't do it anymore. It peters out, whatever reason, right? At some point down the line, there'll be an anniversary, and they'll just kick it back into gear again in a different, give it a different package and a different name and slightly different engineering, but it'll be effectively like the new version of 6-inch Joes. That's probably what will happen, right? And it's just a matter of going through those modes and periods of time and eras and what have you. Rusty Steen says Walmart exclusive Night Force hardball Outback and repeater, please. That sounds cool. Where is Battle Force 2000? Says Chucky Tinderbin. I would love Battle Force 2000. I mean, there's plenty. They've got so much. They've got potential, actually. Let's face it. The way Classified makes kind of like not the most appealing vintage figures into absolute bangers. Like, I could see Battle Force 2000 being some like next level, like, you know, figures. I really could. You know, I think that they do a great job of sort of like making some, like I said, the less appealing early figures absolute bangers. How deep do you think the Joe team is currently in their plans? 270-ish? I don't know. I'm just thinking about it gives me a headache. Even if I've been counting this whole time and making a very clear count of everything, I still would have lost count. From like one event would throw me off. Charlotte, hello Charlotte, how are you doing? Charlotte says, random thought, what would be cool is if G.I. Joe and the Corps did it, or Corps did a crossover toy line. I had Crowbar and his pink trike and he hung out with the Joes when I was little. Charlotte, yes, there are some absolute banger Corps figures, aren't there? Like the dude with the roller skates absolutely has me every single time. You know, there's been some absolutely really fun Corps figures. But yeah, that would be an interesting one. Like yeah, that would be kind of, if they did like some classified Corps characters, that would be freaking insane. Anyway, Jersey Ed said, and good to see you in the chat, Charlotte. I hope you're doing well. Jersey Ed says, I bet they want to hit 250. I want to. Doc says Dino Hunters. No, what's wrong with Dino Hunters? That'd be phenomenal. Hunter says they'll have to go to 343. They have to give us Laura for sure. They'll hit 250 by the end of 2027, and 2027 will already be in the tooling stage now. Yeah, oh, for sure. The thing with Battle Force 2000 is that I want their vehicles more than the figures. That would be a weird one, like a HasLab for that. They'd have to have the figures out first, and then do some sort of crazy repaints for because like you wouldn't be able to sell a Battle Force 2000 HasLab sort of like, you know, all the vehicles combined to make the fortress, the future fortress, because people would be like, no thanks. But if the Battle Force 2000 figures came out first and they were absolutely superb, people might change their minds. But no, I don't think that would work. I don't think a HasLab for that would work, but it would have been fun, wouldn't it? Yeah, but Raw Talk Real Deal says the HasLabs shouldn't have been HasLabs. HasLabs should be vehicles like the General, Mobile Command Center, and the base sets. That's big stuff, mate. Like that really, I mean, you're talking like huge things that I think a lot of people just would be priced out for a start. And not you, but I mean, a lot of people would be priced out for a start. And just in general, the size of those things would be, I don't know, it'd be impossible to ship the bloody thing. It'd be crazy. Call it Battle Force 3000, release them all in 2-packs and add a new female character to the team, says Rolf. That would be crazy. Battle Force 3000, I like that. Anyway, sorry, lots of comments. I'm not going to get to all of them. I apologize, guys. Ice Cream Soldier or we riot, says Stygian. Yeah, indeed. Jason says, even if they did Joe's in the style of the Space Corps figures, that would be a great nod to that set. Definitely. Anyway, sorry, let's continue with this beautiful Zartan figure. Now that we've soaked in all of the wonderful Scott Johnson side art there, we can move on to the back. And I did another sort of zoom in on this one, just to sort of kind of go, have we got any like, you know, have we got any homage? Have we got any like crossover sort of like little cheeky, have we got any snake armors is what I was looking for. Okay. And as we zoom in, it's all we can really state on this one is that it's the location that is the homage, and that is the Arashikage dojo, which has shown up on a lot of figures. Most recently, I want to say Budo. I think Budo had the most recent. Yeah, here he is. And he was in the daytime, and Zartan is showing up at. So there's Budo in the daytime in the Arashikage grounds with the dojo in the background, and those trees, those beautiful trees in the background, which I believe are the same trees that Zartan is obviously in the background of Zartan's image, but it's at night, so you can't see the color. But yeah, so effectively, what I'm thinking is Zartan's on this roof up here somewhere, or maybe on another roof over here, because that roof looks like the building behind him. So maybe over there somewhere. I don't know. It's all very cool though, and yeah. So no like crazy sort of like figure in the background or what have you. But Scott has actually popped in the abilities for Zartan. So he gets Mercenary 4, which is the highest level, isn't it? 4, Classified 3, brilliant. Infiltration 3 and Disguise 4. So again, high numbers on Zartan for obvious reasons. Dude is a capable, character, capable ninja, soldier, sword maker. He's done all sorts. Assassin, master of disguise, actor. He can do voices, impressions. He's got a stand-up special on Netflix. I'm just kidding. He doesn't have the last one. What's with that alternate head sculpt, says Ed. There's an alternate head sculpt. Totally different facial expression. Oh, on the render on the back. I didn't even notice. I hadn't even noticed that. Just have a look. You're right, though. He's got a little open mouth situation going on. Maybe there was a change. Or maybe it's the maybe it's just like the way it's been rendered. I don't know. But yeah, you're right. There is a difference there. Lead singer, you're right. I did forget that, Snictimus Prime. He has been a lead singer as well. And guitarist, lead guitarist, right? He's a lead singer and lead guitarist, isn't he? Yes. Or rhythm guitar. Is he? No, he's lead. He's lead guitar, right? I can't remember what he is. Oh, and yeah, there's a space station a moon in the background. T-Blade, thank you. So yeah, the moon, I would suggest, is that the same moon that the Ghost Viper howls next to? Probably. Billionaire Playboy philanthropist. Thank you, Scott, for that Iron Man reference. Singer, Cold Slither says GL. Yes, indeed. Leon says, great disguise. Who would expect a punk in a Japanese temple? Good point. Gomez says, that Zartan bow is really nice. Option for it to be drawn with an arrow. Yes, I love the fact that they've done like a resting kind of cord kind of option. It's so dope. Love it a lot. Draw string. Draw string. But anyway, we can kind of see it. Yeah, it's in kind of rest mode in the actual package there. And so you can take that little kind of bit out and then you can put the sort of like, drawn bow effect in as well, which is really cool. So yeah, awesome stuff. Figure looks phenomenal. I am very excited for this one. I will say though, was I disappointed? And I think this has got something to do with the fact that when the club was coming to an end, one of the last things they did was a Ninja Force Zartan in the modern 4-inch line, but it came with a sort of like with the motorcycle that was, oh, what's his name? The vehicle operator of that particular motorcycle. I forgot his name now. The one with the napkin over his face. What the hell is that guy's name? Storm Rider. So so yeah, because you had that like redecoed Storm Rider motorcycle, and sort of like with Zartan, I was sort of expecting when we heard that Zartan was coming. We didn't know all the details for a while. We just knew that Ninja Force Zartan was around the corner. And I was kind of like, I was like this. I was like, oh, please come with a motorcycle finally. But No, they're not doing that. But again, at the same time, I think it's because the club did it. It's not like Ninja Force Zartan is synonymous with the motorcycle. The Nox are, of course, the Dreadnoks are, but and I found it really, really interesting that Marvel have revealed yet another motorcycle in their Legends with that I think revealed today actually, the Ghost Rider, another one, and the motorcycle's wicked. It's like all on fire. It's amazing. But how have we not got motorcycles? How are we still not with motorcycle in the Dreadnoks classified universe? It kind of makes me a little bit confused. I do feel like we're probably going to get something soon based on like leaks that have happened elsewhere. There was a little, wasn't there a little bit of sort of leaked info in that we were finally getting Heart Wrencher with the tricycle or something? That I haven't actually heard anything about that yet in terms of like, you know, for from like an official capacity or an unofficial official capacity, if that makes sense. But I think it's well overdue. We are well overdue for getting some sort of motorcycle, tricycle, thricycle in the Dreadnoks team. You know, it's nuts that we haven't had that. It's crazy that we've had to wait this long for the swamp skier. But you know, I'm not going to complain because we have it now, and Zanya comes with it, which is a cool figure to have with that particular vehicle. And what I'm going to do as soon as I get that figure is one of my many Zartans is going to be rocking the chameleon, and Zanya is going to effectively join the Nox display section, which I'm very excited for because I like adding new kind of subline or like faction characters to their displays. It kind of makes me feel more complete. I desperately want some more desert figures though, because my desert team is looking weak. But then again, so is tech. Well, the winter team's a little bit better because I incorporate Snake Eyes and White Timber and Snake Eyes with the Shamak. I never know what to call that one because it's like it doesn't really. It was just Snake Eyes and Timber again. They didn't change the name. They didn't give it like an Alpha Commando's name or a you know, or anything like that. So I'm always like struggle to like give it an actual name. And I still think they missed a trick on not doing Snake Eyes in sort of different tones, shades, like whites and off whites and stuff like that, just to make him like a white Snake Eyes, like with Timber. I think that would have been so cool as like a little Arctic or like little winter set. Anyway, anywho, I do need some freaking desert troops, please and thank you. Anyway, that is Zartan, Ninja Force Zartan, Target exclusive, which we're assuming this and the Royal Guard will be going up at some point soon, based on the fact that we've got Toy Fair around the corner. These are shown up all of a sudden in hand. So yeah, I think fingers crossed, we'll be pre-ordering these, you know, imminently at some point soon. And I also imagine like pre-orders to happen after Toy Fair 2, Judgment Day. No, not as in Toy Fair as well, not Toy Fair 2. Yeah, Toy Fair version 2. Toy Fair 2 Judgment Day. Anyway, I've gone mad. I've gone mad. I'm mad with excitement is what's happening because in just over a week's time, in a week and 2 days, right? Yeah, I can count. I will be in the Big Apple, giving it the big un at the Javits Center, taking pictures, videos, interviews, rushing back to a hotel, churning out a live stream, and then busting out a couple of extra vids from the interviews from that day as well. So I'm going to be a busy human being on the 14th, but it'll be worth it, won't it? Desert Vipers and Troopers would add to the desert line, says Johnny B. Well, do you know what I mean? My Cobra desert section is even slimmer than my G.I. Joe one. So yeah, I like keeping them all separate. I like keeping Cobra over here and Joe over there. And there aren't many. I don't think there are any no. I've literally, I do not cross the streams when it comes to my classified figures. Anyway, Jason says Russian back to a hotel. Storm Havoc confirmed. That's amazing. Fantastic. Anyway, next. That's that side of the box. I didn't realize there was obviously another image in there. There you go. That one. Now, Midtown Comics are going to be hosting the great Larry Hama, who is going to be signing issue 325 at Midtown Comics in New York. And there's going to be a G.I. Joe reveal. But before that, let me take you through all of the information in regards to this particular signing, because there's actually quite a lot to discuss on this one. If I can actually find it. There we go. So this is what it says. This is the whole blurb. Yo Joe goes skybound with Hasbro. Calling all recruits, G.I. Joe legend Larry Hama is reporting for duty at Midtown Comics Times Square for an explosive signing celebrating G.I. Joe 325. Bonus mission, get a signed comic and be on deck for a G.I. Joe Classified Series exclusive reveal. So we're getting a special reveal prior to the actual toy fair kicking off. So fun, that'll be nice. I'm assuming some sort of render scenario. Or then they might have a figure in hand. That would also make a lot of sense too. So it says here, bonus mission. No, I've done that one. Mission briefing. Larry Hama, Midtown Comics in Times Square, Wednesday, February the 11th at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Okay, he'll be signing the 325, and there'll be a classified series reveal. Rules of engagement. G.I. Joe 325 must be purchased in store day of event. That's savvy work there from Midtown Comics. 2 items max per person. So you can't turn up with like just a ton of stuff for him to sign. You know, don't be that guy. First 100 in line get the G.I. Joe issue 325 signed for free, and a second item for $20. After the first 100, $20 per signature, 2 item max. Again, don't be that guy who brings 3 items to try and squeeze an extra one in. Larry is not the type to like let those things slide either. Like he will tell you no. Arrive early to secure your spot, probably about 8 hours early, knowing what this crew are like. Photos allowed with guest approval. So if Larry says it's cool, then it's cool, but if not, then it ain't. And don't be that guy taking a picture anyway. Let's keep it smooth, safe, and mission successful, because knowing is half the battle. I love that they use that on every single post ever. Can't make it in person? Have no fear. You can join us live, not us, them, on What's Not on Wednesday, February the 11th at 4:30 p.m. Ask Larry Hama questions, score giveaways, and get a book signed live on camera. We'll ship it to you or send it to CGC. Link in their bio on Instagram. That's the bio for Midtown Comics, by the way. And you can download Whatnot and follow Midtown Comics on all their socials. There you go. There you go. Now, what do we think is going to be revealed? So Larry, they're making a very big deal about this being obviously a Larry Hama signing, a real American hero. David did mention earlier, the comment earlier saying that he thinks it's going to be Dawn Moreno. I think that's a really good shout, honestly. That's what I would probably put my money on. What I can tell you guys is that the figure being revealed is on our listings page. Should we get into that now? That's all the information for Midtown Comics. Like I said, make sure you get like Whatnot. I've never actually done the Whatnot stuff before. Do you have to download it? Is it an app? I need to look at this. I need to look this up because I haven't actually even looked at it yet. There is a link on what's it called? There's a link on the Midtown Comics post. If you go into their bio, Midtown Comics, and then you go into their bio, which I'm in at the moment, and you click on their little link tree, it says Linktree and then Whatnot live shows on their Instagram. So bear with me 2 seconds while I just sort this audio issue out. There we go. That's happened about 8 times today already. Whatnot live shows. And yeah, it's an app, so you can download it. Fantastic. You might actually be able to. Oh yeah, and it's actually up there. Upcoming show is on there. So yeah, it's gonna be a unmissable event, right? Yeah, can't miss it. Exactly. So make sure, just make sure. Okay, I cannot multitask for the life of me, can I? Ionic Blood says it's my birthday on that day and I live in NYC. Yay. Well, get down there, check it out. Jason says, could it be Sherlock? Larry's been using her almost as much as Dawn since her debut in IDW 281. Absolutely, possibility. Absolutely, for sure. I got my G.I. Joe 1 signed by Larry at Joe Fest 2023. Legit prize possession, says Huntress. That's awesome. Tiger Force Tunnel Rat, says Chucky Tinderbin. That would be epic. And what a random, but then again, actually not a random figure, because Larry was didn't they give the head sculpt? Didn't they give Larry's head sculpt? Didn't they give Tunnel Rat Larry's head sculpt? Is the words I'm looking for. I feel like they did. But there is a connective tissue between Tunnel Rat and Larry Hama, so I like the thought there of it being Tiger Force Tunnel Rat. But that would be crazy if it was. I'd be really excited. Not many other people would be. Leon says Dawn, I guess. Quinn would be a great fit. Absolutely. Guillermo says Whatnot is an app that requires download and sign up. Some cool stuff on there. Thank you, Guillermo. Wilfredo says October Guards would be cool, even if it's currently a politically hot potato. Indeed. Joe Bits Toys says if Larry created Wild Bill, it's a good bet the reveal will be a unique version of Wild Bill. He did. Again, there's connectivity with Wild Bill. But if you're talking about the silhouette Joe Bits Toys, I can tell you now that it is not a Wild Bill figure on that silhouette. It is a new character. But yeah, we are obviously expecting a retro Wild Bill, which was even leaked as well. So we've actually seen that figure and what it's probably going to look like in that retro kind of style. But the silhouette render has got nothing to do with Wild Bill at all. Billy would be great, says Gomez. That would be pretty amazing. Leon says yes, they gave him the head sculpt, but it looks nothing like him. I mean, for them, that's about the same for like a lot of head sculpts, but especially back in the vintage kind of era. But wasn't the head sculpt done for Larry on Tunnel Rat in the modern 4-inch line? I think it was, wasn't it? Joe Bit says, okay, I'm just mentally gearing to be disappointed. I'm sure it'll be cool, man. Don't you worry. Huntress says, please let this be new character for Classified, Dawn, Sherlock, or another new female Joe. I think Dawn is almost like, I think we can kind of, we can speculate and talk about other things and say like, yeah, this would be cool, that would be cool. I think Dawn is probably the front runner. If you were to be betting on this, excuse me, I think Dawn's probably the best bet. Anyway, Ron Rudat's head was put on Leatherneck. It certainly was. There's some fun stuff about the Leatherneck artwork, by the way, Huntress, which I ended up uncovering a little bit randomly when I was looking through my old Action Force International Heroes era kind of like stuff that I had, like kind of fun little mailaways and fan club offerings and what have you. And they did a little sticker book where you got these little card sticker things, and you would put them in the book and everything. And one of them was Leatherneck, and it has the artwork that Leatherneck originally had before they changed the artwork to have Ron Rudat's likeness. Genuinely, right? And if you look at the old Action Force release of Leatherneck, the front of the card has the Ron Rudat artwork on it. And if you flip it round on the little box on the file card, this is the Action Force International Heroes carded figure, by the way, not the G.I. Joe one. It has the original artwork in the little box. They didn't update that. They updated the Ron Rudat art on the front, but not on the back. So there's a real that they hadn't originally had a different uh, piece of art for Leatherneck's face, and Ron Rudat's kind of update took over. But it's really fun that you can kind of see, because I always used to think it was a weird artwork on the GI Joe figure card art. It looked a little bit like it had been changed. Paul says that's the OG art on the Action Force card before they put Rudat's face on him. Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what I just said, Paul. Unless you missed something that I was explaining there. Yeah, that is exactly what I'm getting at. And I love the fact that they didn't do it on the back, so therefore it wasn't covered up. And then of course on the little card book that I have, this little Action Force kind of sticker book, they use that OG artwork. It's amazing. The silhouette is the man with no name as a nod to Clint Eastwood, says Ed. Is it? Oh, you beat me to it. I see what you're saying. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, so you had already written that and I was talking. Sorry, I missed that. Leatherneck is one of my favorite Joes. Legit lost my shiz when he was released in Classified. Yeah, I do actually. I think that's a little bit of a what's the word? Like a low-level sort of banger of a figure. I think a lot of people sort of didn't really give it much respect, which is odd because I really like that figure. I think it's really cool. I think a lot of people expected him to be on the bigger buck, like he was in the kind of latter 4-inch sort of period, where they sort of made Leatherneck huge, and he was a pretty hefty dude in the Sunbow series. So it was an interesting move that they decided to kind of make him like a more average kind of build character. But either way, I thought that was a really good figure, honestly. Yeah. The Kirk Bazigian likeness to the Law figure head sculpt was quite close. And then on the Sonic Fighters card, yes, Leon, 100%. You can really see Kirk's face in both the figure and the artwork for sure. Anyway, that is that. Now should we unlock some classified listings? Do I need an explosion? Let's do an explosion so it kind of makes it more of a big deal. In fact, let's not do an explosion. Let's do a quick word from our sponsor. That is right. Make sure you get the Battle Action Force Deluxe Treasury Editions available on TotalToyBooks.com if you're in the UK and Europe, Skeletron.com in the US, and of course Amazon if you're in like I don't want to make it too like like if you do live in like the Solomon Islands or the Faroe Islands or like in that little like Easter Island, for example, because I don't think Amazon can stretch necessarily that far. Who knows? Maybe they can, but on Amazon as well. Right then, classified listings updates. Now I can tell you that the listing that's going to be revealed on the 11th is the Enforcer. It's the other remaining yet to be revealed 5th figure in that wave of 5, over on the left hand side there in red. So GIJ CS SK the Enforcer G2278 will be the reveal on the 11th. Exciting stuff. Can't wait to finally unlock that one. The new things that we have on here are all over the other side on to the right hand side of the page, and we'll start with the fact that, because it's nice and easy to see, GIJCS Her Gloop gross G2030 is the Arctic 3-pack. So we can finally put the Arctic 3-pack to a listing. Bosh, done. If you've been watching the show and you've been watching the listings on a regular basis, you'll know that one was in like a little miscellaneous section for the longest time. But no, we now know that is that particular listing unlocked. Lovely stuff. The other kind of like new things on here are effectively just like unlocked internal code words, which I'll give you a few. Her Egu or her Igu G2026. So we've got that unlocked. That used to say unknown for the internal code word. So we're chipping away at these a little bit. Her Tundro is G2028. That is another unlocked internal code word. Now, a new listing that's been added to the listings. I know it's like we're adding to the listings still. Yes. The GIJ CS JQ Benton, which is G2064, is an additional listing, and so is another one which we'll get to in a second. I think, yeah, her Tara, just 2 down from there, which is G2099, is another brand new listing added. So JQ Benton and her Tara are new additions to the listings. The HER basically stands for Herculoids, if you are confused as all heck. That's why Gleep, ND, Gloop, what are the other ones? Igu, Tundro, Tara, Dorno is another one. Her Dorno is another. It's not a new listing. It's just an unlocked internal code word. We already had that listing on here, G2103. And yeah, and that was another Herculoids reference, of course. And then the funniest one we unlocked was definitely her squishy face. Sorry, her squish face. Squishy. I added a Y in there. Her squish face. G3300, again, unlocked internal code word for those that were wondering what words are coming out of my mouth right now. In any case, that is your listings currently. That's the updates. And like I said, we've managed to kind of unlock now all of the recent reveals. They're all now unlocked on the listings, which is great. That was driving me mad, honestly. And yeah, what does that leave us with? Well, it leaves us with a lot, doesn't it? So obviously Airtight, Hydra Viper, Overkill, and the new character were all revealed in the renders very recently, as were the Ninja Force Zartan render, which we've now seen the figure for, and Taurus and Red Dog, the 2-pack, and Zanya and the Chameleon, of course. There's another one there that was revealed on last weekend, which is crazy to me. Excuse me. Steps Toys is saying, are we expecting another mainline wave to be added, Chris, or has it transitioned from 4 of 5 to 5-3? So I don't know yet is the answer to that, Steps Toys. So I know, yeah, you know what you're talking about in this kind of situation, right? So like Lifeline, Night Viper, Hit and Run, Big Lob, Mole Rat, that was the first block of characters, but they were from 2025 in terms of reveal, but in hand 2026. Then the next block, which is the block that we're going to be seeing this coming toy fair, of Unknown, Airtight, Hydra Viper, Overkill, and the new character, that is the next 5-figure wave, which is, you know, like I said, around this period of time. The next block underneath that, the Feral Hippocampus, Dr. Street, Professor Stupendous, is the block for Yojo June kind of time, which means that we are expecting another 5-figure wave at the end of the year, again, that will roll into 2027. Right? Does that make sense? Yeah, I think so. I think that's how it works. So we are expecting another 5-figure wave sort of 2027 situation, but that's what I'm expecting, like that next group. Once we get them and have those listings, we'll put them on here, of course, and then we'll know for sure exactly when to expect them and when to get them. But yeah, that should roll over to the next year at that point, I believe. That is right, isn't it? We get them revealed and they go up for pre-order at the end of the year, but they are in hand the next year. So that would be a Lifeline, Night Viper, Hit and Run, Big Lob, Mole Rat situation, but for 2027, right? Cool. And we did have that weird wave that was pushed in April by us, yeah, where they were moving, like the line plan got messed up, didn't it? And Steps Toys says, yeah, it makes sense. The cadence doesn't change year to year, yeah. James Oliver says the ones we pre-order in September, October show up December and then more pre-orders. I don't know, James, because Lifeline, Night Viper, Hit and Run, Big Lob, and Mole Rat were in that period of time, weren't they? That's when we pre-ordered them, and then we got them in going into this year, right? Chris, are you going to have any personal reveals this year? I don't think there was talk of that happening again, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think they went a different route with it. But yeah, it'd be really nice if they get the fan channels involved again at some point. And who knows? It's a long year, isn't it? So maybe. I mean, it's the same amount of year as any other year, but you know what I mean. Like there's more to come. So who knows? Possibly. Fingers crossed. There was definitely talk of doing that again. With Hasbro, and I would be 100% up for it. But it really depends on what they want to do and how their marketing works and all that, and how it works out for them. But I would love to. I'd love to do that again. That was so much fun. Getting the Grim Viper was awesome as well, and now having the Grim Viper in hand is kind of crazy. Scott says, Chris, are you going to have any accidental reveals this year? Hilarious. Hopefully not. Or maybe you guys are probably thinking, hopefully yes, but hopefully I don't put my foot in my mouth again like that I have done in the past. Bio says, we had the stream mid-March, and then all of a sudden, come April, barely a month later, they were putting another wave on us to go up for pre-order. Yeah, true. Is the Thunder Machine on its way? I would hope so, Doc Christensen. I haven't heard anything solid, but I would hope so. I'd hope it was in some fashion that the Thunder Machine is something that they're working on, but I don't know is the honest answer on that one. The Window Viper says, it feels like we are getting a little more this year. Yeah, it does grow year on year, doesn't it? That's what it feels like to me. Oh, you did say moi. I like the fact that you changed the spelling, but I prefer MOIRE, Window Viper on that one. Bias wants the Thunder Machine to be an MTO, and I'm with you on that one. I think that would be really cool. Huntress, Captain Xavier with EIR and Tier would be a great addition to Classified. Like, I would accept all sorts of cool things with Classified. Like any deep cuts, any crossovers that make sense. I'd be all over it, and I'd be happy to see it. The more the merrier, in my opinion. Anyway, that is the leak listings of 2026, updated for you all now. We will move on to just some of these official things. I've added to this, by the way. You might be surprised, but I have added to this little group of sit reps the name only reveals: Iceberg, Deep Six, Shebang. They're currently the only name only reveals we have officially from the Hasbro team left. Iceberg's a bit further along in the line plan, but I'm assuming that's just a lineup with all the the Arctic stuff that will be kind of arriving around that time. Deep Six, of course, is a deluxe figure who we could see over Toy Fair. I wouldn't put it past them to show Deep Six and Shebang at Toy Fair, because they have done that. They did that to me last time. I turned up, and then this massive display with tons of new stuff that we hadn't seen before. The Beachhead Quick Kick 2-pack, the Claw was out, Crystal Ball was there, Breaker was there, the Divers set was there, the Snake Armor. It was insane. That was insane. Cold Slither, the box anyway, was there. That was before they had the figures for those, wasn't it, really? But that was great. That was so great. Anyway. Yeah, so that's the name only reveals officially. The digital renders have grown, which is great. So obviously we've got blooming old Yosemite Sam up there. The unknown Yosemite Sam in the top left. We then have Taurus and Red Dog 2-pack, Airtight, of course, mainline wave. So just to kind of make this very clear, the Classified top left, which is unknown, is a mainline wave figure, mainline wave of 5. Airtight is mainline wave of 5. Red Dog and Taurus are a mainline 2-pack, right? Or are they Fanmazon? No, they might be Fanmazon. Hang on, I've got to go back and check. They're Fanmazon. Red Dog and Taurus are Fanmazon. Sorry, that was my bad. So that's Fanmazon. Then you have the Arctic Steel Core with Drift Viper and Arctic Saw Viper. That is a 3-pack. We believe is a Pulse exclusive, according to the listing that we have. That may or may not be the case, but at the moment, that's what the listing has always stated. And when we were able to put it to that listing, that was just where what it looks like. So anyway, then we have the Hydro Viper mainline wave of 5-figure, Overkill, another mainline wave of 5-figure, Ninja Force Zartan, which is a Target exclusive, the Cobra-La Royal Guard, which is a deluxe mainline. So not an exclusive, it's mainline, but it is a deluxe figure. And Zanya with the chameleon, I believe, is a Fanmazon. And I have to just check that quickly. Yeah, that is a Fanmazon situation with Zanya and the chameleon. Okay. Oh, thank you. Lots of super chats. Thank you, Joe Bits Toys, for the super chat. Don't forget to like Joe's. Chris does a lot. Thank you very much. I appreciate that very much. And thank you so much for the super chat. It's always like hugely appreciated, trust me. Thank you very much, Joe Bits Toys and Jersey Ed. Thanks, Chris. Thank you, Jersey Ed, for the super chat. Very much appreciated. And like I said, yeah, I do appreciate all of the support from all of you guys with the super chats, and of course with just chats in general, just hanging out. You know, I appreciate all of you guys very much, and I appreciate all of the cool interaction and chat we can have. So thank you, Jersey Ed and Joe Bits Toys. And of course, to someone else did a super chat earlier in the show, didn't they? I've forgotten who it was. I've got to find out. Oh, there it is. It was Chucky Tinderbin. So thank you, Chucky Tinderbin, Joe Bits Toys, and Jersey Ed for the financial support. It sounds like you're looking after me in my old age. And of course, I have added to these little official kind of reveal things. Yes, I've added teasers finally. Someone mentioned this the other day and I was like, yeah, why haven't I got this up here? Because this makes sense to kind of include as like a separate sort of like, you know, updated thing, because they do a lot of these now and they were building up for a little while until we got the Swamp Skier revealed. And of course, we've had the Polar Bear, the Ore Striker, the Royal Guard, kind of like armor piece. And now, of course, this harness of some description. Who knows? There are some leaks out there that are pretty much spot on, and we'll find out, I guess, over Toy Fair. I hope we find out over Toy Fair. I'd be surprised if we don't find out what this is all about over Toy Fair. And who knows, they may even have another one for us as well over the weekend that they might throw us. Be really cool. So there you go. That is all of the official updates. What was Destro's rat dog named? Asks Rusty Pomper. I can't. Paraguaya? That is an amazing name. Sorry, Rusty, if I got that completely wrong. But what was Destro's rat dog named? That rat thing that he had in the Sumbo cartoon. That they included it in the back of the classified. It was on a dumpster artwork on the back of the Cold Slither box, wasn't it? What was the name of it? I've forgotten already what those Destro's little rat things were. What was that? What was it called? They've got names and everything. Anyway, I've forgotten. Someone will let us know in the comments, Rusty. But I've completely forgotten. You put me on the spot, and I can't answer that question, unfortunately. Is there another Valkyrie pack? Asks the real Destro. Not that I'm aware of, but I think redecos of the Valkyries would be really cool. For sure. Looks like it belongs to something ferocious. Indeed, Bias. Jersey Ed says, lol, you're not far behind me. What, in terms of looking after your elders? Yeah, true. Anyway, thanks very much, guys, for joining me on the show. I'll bring it to a close there. Sorry, Rusty, for not getting you the answer to that. In fact, you know what? I'm not going anywhere until I have found that. Because, you know what's really funny? I made a post about that when the Super 7, no, not Super 7, when the classified box art came out, and I zoomed in on that, took a picture of it, and then also put it next to the original Sunbow image and was like, oh, this, I didn't notice this before, but this is what this is. And I've completely forgotten what the friggin' name is, but it should say on the post, shouldn't it? It should. Will it? I'm not going anywhere until I found it, though, just for Rusty. So you can thank Rusty for this being stretched out a little bit, Kitty said. Where is it? I suppose it was a long time ago, wasn't it, when we had images of the box for that particular set. My God, I post a lot of stuff, don't I? The Full Force posts So much stuff. It is ridiculous. How do I even keep up with all of this? Seriously. I don't know, like, how I'm amazed at myself. Is that a flex? I suppose it is a bit of a flex, isn't it? It's like I'm amazed at myself that I don't have any, like, spare time to actually relax or sleep. It's here somewhere, and like I said, I am not going until I find it. Or if someone says it in the frigging comments, it would be nice. I did an entire video discussing it, Scott. I did. Did you actually say what it was? No one has yet. No one knows what it's called. They're probably called rat dogs, aren't they? Oh, this is going to drive me absolutely crackers. There it is. Okay. The creature on the Cold Slither box art appears to be one of Destro's Ratillos or Ratios. I don't know how you pronounce that. They showed up in the Sunbow episode Into Your Tent I Will Silently Creep. I do hope we get one of these in the line at some point, I said. Thanks to Pop Culture Preacher for reminding me they existed. So thank you, Pop Culture Preacher, for reminding me they existed. And also, thank you to me for making a post about it on the Facebook page. But yes, the this little fella, the Ratio, that's the image of him in the dumpster in the classified Cold Slither artwork. And there they are in the Sunbow cartoon. There you go. We did get there. So that was just for Rusty. I hope you're still watching, Rusty, and you didn't go like you didn't know the answer. I don't care for him anymore. Either way, I hope you got what you needed there, because it took me a while, but I got what I needed. Ratios. I'm going to forget that, aren't I? I know. Anyway, that is it for me. Thank you so much, guys, for the for the evening. I will see you on the next one. Just trying to think what we've got coming up. Scott Johnson interview, which should be happening after. We've got it kind of lined up for after Toy Fair. So obviously before that, we'll have the lead up to Toy Fair. We'll have obviously the reveal on the 11th. I'm sure there'll be more leaks knowing what our fandom and community is all about. Lol, thanks, says Rusty. You're welcome. That was just for you. Everyone shout out Rusty. He got the episode extended. So if you like the episode long, if you like your episodes long, you can thank Rusty for that. So yeah, we've got probably lots to come is all I'll say. Obviously the weekly on Saturday, which I'll be going over a lot of this stuff again. But I'll put a different twist on it. And then I'll probably do some close-ups on those images as well, so we can actually see what the blimmin' Royal Guard looks like. And who knows, we'll probably get more stuff even between now and Saturday. So yeah, we'll be discussing that. And yeah, so I'll see you for that, probably most likely. Yeah. And then for all my patrons on the Red Shadow Army and SAS levels, I'll see you on Sunday if I don't see you beforehand. So yeah, have a great rest of your Thursday evening. Stay fresh cheese bags, as it says on my hat. And as always, after 3, you know what to do. 1, 2, 3. Full force. Laters, guys. That's it for this installment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, Full Force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos. And as always, you can keep up with the show after listening by following on all of our social platforms, links in the description. And if you would like to contact the show, you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback or questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.